What did you expect?
So the topic of today's video is, will Coach Prime hurt the NFL draft stock of both of his sons, Shilo Sanders and Shedeur Sanders? Recently, literally within the last 48 hours, Coach Prime made some comments about his son playing in cold weather. And I quote, "I don't want my kid, Shedeur, going nowhere cold next year." He grew up in Texas. He played in Jackson, played in Colorado. Season's over before it gets cold in Colorado. I'm just thinking way ahead. I don't want that for him, Sanders said. Okay.
What did you expect?
We're going to tackle that. Quick disclaimer. I'm a fan of Coach Prime. I've done multiple videos about Coach Prime. After this video, I'm going to be a fan of Coach Prime and his sons because I think they're fantastic. I think Coach Prime represents masculinity. I think Coach Prime standing on business. He's the one who came up with that term, at least to me. I love Coach Prime. I love seeing him bond with his sons and his daughters. He's a man's man. He's a different type of coach. Some people don't like the flashiness. I get it. Some people don't like the hypocrisy with him, complaining about some stuff, but then his son's going to do the exact opposite. Some people don't like him for how he left Jackson State. There's a multitude of reasons not to like Coach Prime. Me personally, I like Coach Prime. He is easily top 3, top 5 greatest NFL player of all time. And to see him go into coaching and him to share his faith with the world, I mean, I could think of so many reasons why I love Coach Prime. Now, moving on to that, I don't like these comments. And it's okay. We live in a society that's so blinded where if you disagree with what somebody says, you automatically hate them. We see it in politics all the time. Oh, I disagree with what that liberal said. Oh, I disagree with what that conservative said. It's not the end of the world if somebody gives some pushback. So I just want to lay the stage for a few things I'm about to say here. Huge Coach Prime fan, but what the heck is he talking about? Man, I think it's dope that he loves his kids. I think it's dope. He doesn't want his kids playing in cold weather. More so Shedeur seems, okay? He's favorite child number 1, as he said jokingly before. But check this out, y'all. He lives in Colorado, and I used to live in Colorado. I lived in Colorado Springs from 07 to 08 and have visited a few times since. And what's crazy, they usually get their first snow around Halloween, around October 31st, very beginning of November. There's usually the first snow out there. So what is he talking about? The cold is no. it gets cold early over there in Colorado, and he's more deeper. He's not in southern Colorado like where I used to live. So it's going to get cold probably a little bit sooner, maybe possibly the 3rd week of October, right? I don't think, and here's the question I want to take and get into. This does not hurt Shedeur Sanders' draft stock. Not crazy about the comments and stuff like that, but for a coach who is accomplished as much as he has, right? He has accomplished a lot. Gold jacket, 3 Super Bowl rings. He was a rapper. He's done a lot of things, man, in his life, man, and he's failed a lot before. He's talked about being very, very low in a hotel room and wanting to unalive himself, right, and giving his life to Jesus. And we've seen so much of him, right, to make himself vulnerable, right? But I don't think this at all. Just like it may scare. I think it'll scare away a team or two. I do, but hurt the draft stock. Y'all, if Shedeur went in this year's draft, he's probably a day 2 pick, round 2, round 3. I think he wows people in pro day and everything. You know what I mean? More than, I don't know if anybody has a better arm than Michael Penix, but Shedeur can throw the rock and he's accurate. And he's shown he could put a team on his back. Unfortunately, the O-line was just absolutely atrocious, and they went 4-8. It was just a terrible season for Colorado. But it was the first season, and they're going to get better, right? But when you have quarterbacks like Caleb Williams, and I like Caleb Williams, I don't think he's as bad as people make him out to be. I always try to find the good in people, but that's a guy. Some could see some of his comments as trying to hurt his draft stock, his own self. and he still seems to be going number 1 overall. We'll see what happens. You know, he may slide maybe 1, maybe 2 positions, but he'll probably stay the number 1 or number 2 overall pick. That being said, dude, he comes from a home where his dad is loving. He's giving him the best coaching, putting him in a situation. Man, I think Shedeur is a 1st or 2nd round pick in next year's draft, assuming that he takes and stays healthy and he balls out this year. I mean, let's be real. You know, the first 2-3 weeks of college football season, we're looking at Shedeur like a Heisman candidate. I think it's more so with more weapons coming into this college football season. Then there's Shilo, and Shilo was outstanding. Shilo, shout out to Shilo. He commented on one of my videos, man. I did a YouTube short. I think Shilo is easily one of the best defenders in next year's draft. Easily a early day 2 pick, could even go late if he has a huge pro day. I mean, I could see him going round 1. I'll just say it, you know. So I don't think Coach Prime is going to hurt his son's stock. I want to talk about Eli Manning, because a lot of people are talking about, oh, Eli Manning, he took a stance and he said no to Chargers. Now, obviously it paid off. Because he went on to win 2 Super Bowls and beat the greatest quarterback in NFL history in Tom Brady and the Patriots. He did his thing for the Giants, Eli Manning. But also it looks bad. I'm gonna be real with you. When you say I'm not gonna play for that team, it looks bad. But at the same time, we have to understand the Chargers are a dump. Up until this recent hire of Jim Harbaugh, they're a dumpster fire of an organization. They waste away careers. Phillip Rivers, LT, Dan Humphries, Kellen Winslow, the list goes on. They don't do what they have to do to stay competitive, man. And it seems that this is a very complacent organization and have been that way for decades. So I see both sides of the perspective. It's very likely that we could see a situation like that with Shedeur Sanders. Very, very likely that we could see that. But is he going to be the number 1 quarterback? I would like to see Shedeur, and I believe he can definitely be in the top 3 conversation as far as top 3 quarterbacks going into the 2025 NFL draft. But maybe you guys feel different. So I'm going to need you guys to comment below. Let me know how much you hate Coach Prime and, oh, he is the worst thing in the world. Or maybe you're like, hey, you know, I see where he's coming from. I'm just trying to provide the perspective. I'm trying to play devil's advocate. Let's talk about why it was good what Eli Manning did, right? And why it was probably bad and frowned upon. And we could also look at Coach Prime's situation, because he's not going to shut his mouth. And they're going to be very vocal. And we all know Coach Prime's a very vocal man. Coach Prime, if you and your family members are watching this, I'm a fan of your whole family. Keep rocking out, man. I hope y'all win the national championship next year. I want to see them continue to shut people up, and I want both of his sons to continue to crush it. That being said, my answer is no, this will not hurt their NFL draft stock, though. I think it may scare a team or 2 away. I don't think that's going to be enough, man. The Sanders kids are going to do some big things at the next level. Comment below, hit that subscribe button, and also check out my NFL draft interviews. We have actual players in this year's 2024 NFL draft going to take and be on this show, and God willing, next year and the years to come. So it's kind of a regular thing around here if you're new to the channel. But see you guys next time. Hit subscribe. See you on the next one. Peace. Thank you for watching another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith, where we have exclusive NFL content and exclusive NFL interviews. Be sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. Follow us on social media. See you on the next one.